Hi everyone, this is Nadia, award-winning mentor, award-winning author, clairsentient psychic, and founder at Spartanite. And today I want to be covering how to use information asymmetry for financial/monetary understanding and wisdom to improve your life and of course have a better, profitable, and happier and healthier life. But maybe that doesn't go into like the whole YouTube caption, so I'm just going to keep it really short. All right. So, what is information asymmetry? Let's first start with that and let's try and understand those two keywords in a very simple English terminology. The trouble with the financial world is that it is rolled and covered with black magic. Now, there's a lot wrong with that, and there's not a lot wrong with that, and I'll try and break it down as best as I can in this video. Now, what happens is that through the scientific power of magic, one can bend laws, one can change laws, one can do a lot of things. And this covers the legal sectors as well. In fact, that's why obviously, common people that need to hire a lawyer who obviously understands legalese, so to speak, so that they can translate what's actually being said to you. The domains of commerce, which is obviously big business, the domains of legal, which is obviously law, that type of stuff, maritime admiralty law, not the actual natural divine law, and many other things are all interlinked into it. Now, information asymmetry is basically ignorance in a nutshell. It is an economical term used by a lot of economists, and there are many people that mistake economics as the study of money. No, it's not. Economics is the study of value. It's what value can one bring to the table, or rather take away from it as well. Now, the common person or the average person does not understand that big institutions, central banks, whatever you want to call it, powers that be, as I like referring to it as, they keep you necessarily dumb, stupid, and unaware so that they can profit from your ignorance. Most people are financially ignorant, and this is done by design. This is not done as, oh, why don't you educate us? There was somebody I saw on LinkedIn, God bless his heart, he was a young, scrappy entrepreneur, or maybe liked the entrepreneurial life is what I would call it. And I have respect for somebody that wants to carve their own path and wants to break out of the mundane mainstream. And he had written something that showed his ignorance. And his ignorance is, it's not me calling him a bad person. It's not me saying he's stupid. So I don't want anyone watching this video in any part of the world thinking that I'm looking down on someone or judging them. Ignorance is, I probably am ignorant about many things in life. It doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make anybody watching this a bad person. It's just, hey, you don't know what you don't know, right? So this guy says, well, how come in schools we are not taught about entrepreneurship? How come in schools we're not educated about, one can only fill in the blanks as whoever it is watching this. Each individual person watching this at present has their own vantage point of how they choose to look at life. The reason they don't teach you this shit is because they don't need you empowered so that you can break away from them. This system is designed to keep you helplessly trapped in it so that they have full control and siphon all your power. Money is not power as much as people like to call it is. Energy is power, which is exactly why people can go and work at a job and then feel completely drained afterwards, essentially, because you've given all your energy to that place. I used to feel like that. I used to go work jobs and just come home and you feel tired, you feel angry, you feel spent, you feel wasted, all those kind of emotions, because you're feeling, being a clairsentient psychic and empath, I was feeling everybody else's emotions as well, but it was really hard for me to keep a level mind. So there's a lot of people that struggle with that. Now, information asymmetry is everything your competitors or your enemies know over you. I often cover this very well in consultations and business-related consultations when people come and book with me. And I often ask, what is your strategy for information asymmetry? And they kind of look at me weird, like, what's that? I'm not somebody that likes to come from scarcity consciousness. I'm not somebody that likes to say, oh, always have your eye on your competitor. You need to see what they're doing. That's a good practice and a bad practice. Yes, you need to know if someone's in your field. You need to see what they're up to. The point is that there is a lot of people out there that are just claiming and taking things for themselves and passing it off as their own. That's just plagiarism and theft. That's a whole different video that I will cover at some point on this channel. What you need to do is you need to find out who is profiting from your ignorance. Voltaire, the philosopher, said that, in order to learn who rules over you, you need to know who not to criticize. So if you can't criticize someone or you feel fear to criticize that person, they have power over you. And power is not about... people mistake power for masculine power. Somebody can beat someone up, so you can do something. That's a form of physical power. But true power is always going within and finding out who we are on the inside, so we don't have to give our power away to somebody else very quickly. The moment you feel that you're giving your power away to someone, pull everything back toward yourself. There are a lot of people that are going to guilt trip you, they're going to frighten you, they're going to emotionally blackmail you, they're going to threaten you. They're going to do all different kinds of things to maintain their food supply and maintain their food source over you, is what I want to call it. So I want everybody watching this to understand that no matter where you are in your financial journey, you may be working a job and you're tired and you want to leave. Or maybe you work your job and you're happy but you just want a promotion, or you want to be able to build from there. You might be a startup person who is just like literally trying to get their feet wet in business. You might be somebody that's in business for so many years. You might be a very seasoned entrepreneur. It really doesn't make a difference, because if you don't practice this rule of information asymmetry, it will always come down to the same thing, that someone did you over or someone had one over you because they have more information over you. There's a very good example that I'm going to give over here. It's an example that not many people will be able to give because it's a very unique situation that happened to me through a lady that approached me. So I have a small store on Etsy as well, and I sell some of our Spartanite products there. So there was a lady that approached me. Maybe she was going through stuff on Etsy, and she contacted me and said, I went through your site and I bought a book of yours, and I really liked what you had to say. And I have a problem in my business that nobody can seem to solve, and I don't know what to do. So I said, all right, well, sure, talk to me. What's going on? Now, this lady was a very successful clothing designer in France, and she made really stunning looking kaftans. I bought one of her pieces and I was just amazed at the craftsmanship, the tailoring, the seamstress work that she did was just mesmerizing. I mean, I would have probably just poked myself with a needle or, with a sewing machine or something. I have a lot of respect for her. And she said, you know what, there is a shop on Etsy, and I swear they have my designs. Are they like, do they psychically steal my work or something? She didn't understand. And the story I'm going to try and tell people over here is basically information asymmetry, and I want everyone to apply this in their own life. So she said, 3 weeks before my designs are going to go live, these designs are already live in this other person's shop. So I said, oh wow, gosh, okay, so they're obviously stealing your work, and you're absolutely sure these are your designs, right? All right, cool. You should always have an energy signature with your work. Anybody in business watching this, when I see people write posts on Instagram or Facebook, and they've kind of come and taken inspiration from Spartanite blog, I don't have a problem if they haven't credited me and they've tried to just use those words, and those words don't sit with them because the energy signature is Spartanite signature. So I hope that's making sense. So I said to her, man, you got a lot of people in your team or something? Is someone just leaking these designs out? And she said, no. She's just like, I stay at home, I sketch. I have one assistant, but, I'm sure the assistant is not doing anything funny. I said, all right, fine, let's find out. So I went away and I said to her, I'm going to consult for you. I'm going to do a full-scale diagnostics for you as well to figure out how are they getting hold of your designs. So I went away and the answer just amazed me. The assistant was actually a good guy. He was not a thief. He was not giving her designs anywhere. These guys on the other side hired a clairvoyant. They hired somebody who has the gift of psychic sight. They paid this lady a lot of money, and she was psychically tuning into this woman's designs, designing everything. And what would have taken my client 6 weeks from creating and sketching the design to bring it out to market, maybe 6 to 7 weeks, these guys had shortened it down in 2 to 3 weeks. They had factories and they had different things that they were working at lightning speed, and my client was taking so many losses that she was seeing people take her designs, and people were leaving reviews on that shop like, oh my god, your designs are amazing, this, that. And it's frightening to see how, because she lacked awareness of the information asymmetry, she lost, I'd say, about 20 to 30,000 euros easily in the sales she could have made. And that's hurtful. And obviously we managed to do psychic blocking protection so that when the lady tried to come for her stuff, she basically was met with a wall. She couldn't see it. Now, that may sound really out, but there are a lot of big businesses who employ people with our gifts, psychic gifts, to hear, to see, to feel, to close deals, to open deals, to do different things. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but my point is this. If you're doing something and someone has more knowledge about what you're doing over you, they're always going to win. So the point is, it's not about me sitting here and saying you need to know everything. I'm not saying to somebody that they need to be a genius, basically. No. But you need to have people that you know in life who are able to give you information or able to share things with you that you may not be aware of. I think this was in one of the books by Napoleon Hill, where I think they interview Henry Ford, and he says, yeah, you can ask me any question, no problem. They lay like a couple of phones in front of him, and he says, sure, I can answer any question. And they ask him, and he says, hold on, let me just call this person. I'll get the information for you. So yeah, that's one good way of looking at it. Now, when it comes to your finances, information asymmetry means ignorance. It means if you don't know how to read numbers, they're going to charge you extra APR on your credit card or loan or mortgage or something. If you don't work on building your credit, obviously we can't know that situation. If you don't have discipline with your money and you don't know how to say no to things that are not important for you, people benefit and profit off you. Now, information asymmetry goes hand in hand with people who are ignorant to their own selves. I went to an event, and there was a guy that said to me, he met me, and he said to me on Meetup, hey, it'd be really great to stay in touch, this, that. I said, yeah, sure, here's my number. So he said, I have a question. He WhatsApped me the same night, and he said, I got a question for you that I really want you to give me the answer to. I said, sure. He said, if you had an extra £100 every month, where would you invest it? Would you put it in the stock market? Would you put it in Spartanite? Would you buy precious metals? Would you try and add it to a down payment of a house? What would you, I'm just so curious what you would actually do with an extra £100 a month. Now, £100 a month is not a lot of money, but it is better than zero. And the principle is not the amount of money, as a lot of the spirits and the beings that I work with have taught me. It is more to do with the flow and whatever number that you can have. You can have £1 you put away. I mean, you guys who are watching this in currency, it can be a dollar, it can be a rand, it can be a euro, it doesn't make a difference. And I said to him, my friend, I would put it in investing in the knowledge of myself. And he said, do you mean like you would hire a mentor or a coach or something? I said, if it's necessary and I feel like that person has the skill set that I obviously need to prosper and move forward, yes, I certainly would. But the knowledge of self is something that comes from gnosis. The knowledge of self is something that comes from doing the work on yourself emotionally. And a lot of people are not willing to do the work on themselves. They're willing to use all the tools, all the courses, all the this, the that. That stuff isn't going to give you the definitive answer. It's going to open the road for you, but it's not going to tell you, all right, come here, let me drag you through and walk. It's like that saying, you can take a horse to water, you can't make it drink. Let's tie that back into information asymmetry, because I don't like getting sidetracked. If there is a situation in your life financially where you are not aware of and someone is profiting from you, that is going to cause you massive issues. So instead of thinking, oh, I don't want to deal with my finances, I just want it to go away, that's not how money works. And that is a surefire way of repelling money away from you and just making sure that, well, I don't really want to deal with it. So there's that. There are going to be points in everybody's life. There's been points in my life, there's been points in people's lives where you feel scared to check your account, you feel scared to do a deal, you feel scared where's the next client coming from, you feel scared for a lot of things. And fear is a good and a bad thing, because you want to translate that fear into courage. You say, all right, well, I don't know what's coming next, but let's go ahead and find out. So when you want to build monetary wisdom, you want to build financial wisdom, always remember the rule of information asymmetry. There's no saying what you don't know can't hurt you, but what you don't know does often can and will hurt you. So just remember that before you go into a new deal, before you date someone, before you marry somebody, before you're friends with that person, before anything you want to embark on, please make sure you know more than enough about that person. Please make sure that you have done your due diligence, as I often speak about in many videos. Due diligence is not, well, I did a quick Google search and this is, I'm talking dig to the core. You don't want to be thinking the first 3 layers, ooh, they taste nice like ice cream cake, next thing you find snails and maggots underneath. Please don't do that. There's so many people that fall victim to it. And most importantly, don't be hard on yourself, because our self-talk is the most important thing. Just because you may know something through this video that you may not know, you didn't know even maybe 10 minutes before, 20 minutes more, doesn't make you an idiot, doesn't make you stupid. In fact, I commend anybody watching this video because they're obviously wishing and wanting to learn and educate themselves and be empowered in a way that you break away from the indoctrination that has been fed to you. So hopefully that's helped, and it's given everybody watching this a very clear picture of what information asymmetry is. Basically ignorance in a nutshell, but I just used the fancy word for it. And when somebody is ignorant about a situation, you will always be taken advantage of. Like, comment, share, subscribe. There are many more topics that are coming to this channel. And just as a quick shout out, it's Conclanet's birthday today, and I dropped a new audio which is called Keys to the Wealth Kingdom audio. So if you've ever thought about embracing true wealth consciousness, and true wealth consciousness is not about what's in your bank account, it's about the inner bank in the inside, because when one is satiated on the inside, it will always allow you to have a healthy relationship with money despite the number that comes or goes. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next round. Bye.